Moving men hunched their shoulders against the driving rain, carrying in boxes and furniture covered in plastic sheets. Wind ripped at their raincoats and blew them sideways, making them stagger into the water-drenched lawn. Honestly, though, even if the new owners had missed the fairly obvious keep-out cues, did they not do any research at all? As small towns went, Larkin was the problem child of the Midwest. Deaths and disappearances went back generations. Unexplained phenomena were the talk of the worldwide ghost hunting communities. Halloween kept tourists entertained around the clock, more so when a storm blew through. The once beautiful architecture felt rotten inside, lurking on the short, cracked streets like curses. Lush greenery harbored a black presence. Every townsperson had a dark secret. Another angry pelt of rain slapped my window. The streetlights clicked on, the illumination eaten by the coming darkness like acid. My phone vibrated with a notification, but before I could glance over, a figure caught my eye. What in the... I leaned forward over my desk, my elbow crinkling the calculus page. A person fought the storm, his head bowed against the onslaught, one hand clutching the stem of an umbrella, and the other holding the end of a slicked leather leash. The glossy surface of his raincoat said that umbrella wasn't doing him any favors. A small dog pushed through the driving rain in front of him, its little pink doggy raincoat having blown off its furry head. "Are you crazy?" I whispered into the hush, squinting through the rain-smeared glass, as though that would help visibility. This had to be one of the outsiders. No one else in this town dressed up their fluffy little dog, except Miss Jensen, and though people thought she was crazy, she wasn't fool enough to brave this kind of weather. Besides, she didn't walk her dog, she pushed it around in a stroller. No, this was one of the newcomers, I was sure of it. I wanted to get a glimpse so I'd have something to report to the girls at school tomorrow. They couldn't believe someone was moving onto this street. The raincoat stretched across his shoulders and then fell, not bulged by his middle. Despite the wind yanking and pushing at his umbrella and the rain drenching his legs, he glided down the street with a telltale swagger, his confidence clear. His head swiveled in my direction, as though he could feel the scrutiny. I could just make out the details of his face. A guy about my age with dark brows and hair. Staring up at the window, he stalled slightly, catching me watching him. "Oh, crap!" I yanked my face away from the window and dropped down, trying to get out of view. I grimaced with my face pushed against my book. Awesome. Nothing weird about a chick staring at you with her face pushed up against the glass as you tried to walk your dog. Nothing at all. Totally normal over here. Hopefully he was a few years older. It had been hard to tell through the rain. If he was older, he'd be in college, and he hopefully wouldn't get a chance to connect the stories of the town nutcase with the creepy girl in the window. Well, not for a while anyway. He'd hear the rumors eventually, but it would give me a chance to introduce myself properly and maybe dispel the stigma associated with my name. One could hope. The floorboards outside my room creaked again. The door swung open, and I whipped around, lifting as I did so and unsticking my damp face from the page. My mother poked her head in, her pretty face lined with fatigue and pinched with worry. It had been a long while since she'd been crowned prom queen, and the years, not to mention what storms like this meant for her kid, had stolen her vitality. "Ella?" she said, her eyes roaming my face. I let out a shaky breath and allowed myself a relieved smile. I hooked a thumb toward the window. "Some day to move into a new house, huh?" A glance revealed that the neighbor had continued down the road, not willing to brave the storm for long to get a look at who was peering down at him. The smile on her face didn't reach her eyes. She took a few steps into my room, angling herself so she could see the moving truck out the window. "I know. Stella Rhodes, the new neighbor, stopped by after you went to school this morning. Apparently the shipping company was ahead of schedule, so they had to fly in during the week instead of on the weekend like they'd planned. Right in